What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope everybody is well. I don't know. It looks so dark. My light is on. It looks kind of dark. Hmm. I'm gonna have to. Child, I said I'm gonna set up my upstairs area as my studio. I guess I have to do it sooner rather than later. Hey, you are? Um, Let me say hi to the people. Lord, not hashtag I stand with Babyface. Oh Lord, we ain't gotten to it yet. Yeah. I stand with baby. I stand with Babyface. Hey. You know, I just I just find it funny that people it never ceases to amaze me how when stuff happens to people and then they turn around and do it to somebody else, it just never ceases to amaze me. Well, we about to get into that. Let everybody know that we are live in case the notification didn't go out. Y'all know how YouTube be playing with a sister. YouTube playing games lately anyway, but that's okay, YouTube. I see you. I see you. We see each other. All right, let me say hi to the people. Hey, Tracy. Been waiting on this one. Okay. Cupcake says she finally got a live notification. Cupcake, look, I'm going to tell you, you've been over there working, honey. You have been over in Pam's chat. Pam going live like I go live, child. She was live 3 times yesterday and live already twice today. And you have been in there, honey. You better go, girl. I say Babyface should just go on tour. I'll gladly come. Anita and her nastiness can go kick rocks. Lord, y'all are giving it to Anita. Hey, really be Babyface needs to look at his contract. He is a supporting act, not contract headliner. So he gets less time than Anita. So he's wrong for going over time. Sorry, fans. He was wrong, period. Okay, well, Toria, you're going to have to tell me what happened because I know what happened the first time. But it sounds like you're describing a different situation. So you have to tell me what happened. Hey, Below. Hey, what's up, Natalie? Corray, Amber. Hey, what's up, Diva? Mwah. Hey, my love. Sharice C. Golden. What's up? P. Hall. Cindy. Hey, Miss Kiki. Lily is me. Mystic Rain. Hey. Look at all my members lit up. Quake Simmons. Hey. Ronnie. Miss Bethe. L Love. Yogi. All right, Tracy Wilson, C. Golden. If I missed you, my apologies. What's up, Ebbs? Hey, Montrez. Brandon, Nicole Stevens, Lisa Mack. Okay. All right, Shantia. Hey, Janae. It's a lot of people in here. Okay, y'all. I like Anita's music, don't get me wrong, but she has been problematic for years. Somebody needs to take her Twitter. Now, I do think they need to take her phone. Get her off the Twitter. Because she acting the fool down to the Twitter. Hey, Morgan, what's going on? Yeah, she is acting the fool down to the Twitter. Okay. So let me say a few things because we're gonna get there. It sounds like y'all ready to talk about that. Um, Nita said he was contracted as a supporting act. Why y'all mad at her telling the truth? Hey Nate, what's up? You home and you're home and recovered, honey? You all recovered up? Um, hey Harold, what's up? Now y'all know that woman been nasty. Child, she listen. So we're gonna get there, child. We're gonna get there. Let me get a few things out the way first, honey. First of all, y'all know we supposed to be doing our after dark on Saturday. Now like I said, I reached out to the bedroom candy lady. And she gave me the link to the virtual, like the online where you can order. So um I'm gonna post that on the yeah, I'm gonna post that on the community wall. But I also need y'all to give me suggestions. I'm gonna put that up on the community wall too. I'm not really sure what else to do. I mean, I know we're gonna talk, about the bedroom candy stuff, but like, do y'all want to just? I mean, you want me to have an agenda? Like, I don't know. Y'all have to tell me. Y'all have to tell me. So we'll talk about it. Y'all have to tell me what else we're gonna talk about. Okay. I'm in the bushes taking care of my babies. Okay, girl. Hey, Dr. Colton, did anyone actually witness him going over his time? See, that's what I need to know because I know what happened the first time, but again, it sounds like y'all are describing a different incident. we're gonna get into Babyface and Anita because it sounds like y'all really want to talk about that. So we're gonna spend some time on that. So let me get some of this other stuff out the way first, okay? Thank you one day, L Love. I said thank you one day. Thank you, L Love. L Love said really be your channel is growing and growing. One day you'll have to just greet us with the hey y'all. I know, right? I still like saying hi to the people though. What's up? Give me shelter. Okay. All right. I see y'all in the chat. All right, we'll get there. Okay. So first of all, I want to send out congratulations to the Grammys. The Grammys have the Grammys have added a category to the Grammy nominees for this year. They have added Best African music, and that's something that that genre is becoming more and more popular. So congratulations to the Grammys for continuing to expand as music continues to expand and evolve. So I'm here for that. I still don't really care about the Grammys like that, and I probably won't even watch it. I really halfway be watching the Grammys, but for the people that are in the industry, it is important. It is an accolade. It is something to strive for. So I'm glad to hear that they are expanding it into different genres of music. So African, I didn't. I should. Oh no, here it is right here. Best African Music Performance. So that's what it's actually. That's the category. Excuse me. That's what the category is actually going to be called. Best African Music Performance. So I'm here for that. I'm here for all of that. Okay. Okay. Maybe a people indulge in different experiences, do a question and answer situation. Okay. You know what? I do have a game that me and my friends it's not what y'all think, but never have I ever. It's an actual game, and not all of the questions are sexual, but some of them are. So maybe I'll go through that box and pull out some of the questions that I think will be fun for us to talk about. So thank you. That's a suggestion. Thank you. All right. Okay. So don't forget, it's a members only live, only because, like I said, I want to keep the group intimate so people feel comfortable. Um, people feel comfortable talking and being open. So that is what it's gonna be. We need a dirty Kahoot. I see if I can find one. I don't know if I can, because my Kahoot is under my work email chat. So I have to. Maybe I can. I don't know. I look and see, but I know I can find some games. I know I can find some games. Okay. All right, we'll get into it. All right, those are some good suggestions. It's Saturday night. I haven't scheduled it yet because I have something to do Saturday, and I have to make sure I want to schedule it for when I know I'm going to be home. So it'll be either at 10 o'clock or at 11 o'clock. It just depends. But I really want to do it at 10 o'clock because I'm old. And that way we'll be done by like 12. But I'll schedule it. But it'll be either 10 or 11. All right. So congratulations to that. Okay. Condolences. I'm gonna send out condolences to Tori Bowie. Remember a few weeks ago we talked about that Tori Bowie. She was a gold medal winner, Olympic gold medal winner. She passed away, but we didn't really know why. So now we're finding out that she actually passed away during childbirth. She was in her 8th month and she was actually in the process of giving birth. Probably there was probably some sort of complications or something happening with the baby being in distress or her being in distress, and she passed away in childbirth. And this is a prime example of what I say to you guys, men and women, because women too, but mostly men, only because y'all gotta experience it. Um, Being pregnant and having a baby is not what we see on TV. A lot. Hold on, y'all. Sorry, y'all. Um, so that whole preeclampsia. Yeah. So that whole idea, and that's why a lot of times when, you know, when we talk about women and women's rights as far as their reproductive body, their organs and their body, you know, it's not always about convenience of, oh, I just don't feel like having a kid, or oh, I just like, that's the story they want us to believe. That's the narrative that people want to put out there, that people, women use other forms of birth control, whether it be abortion, whether it be a pill or what have you, because oh, they just don't, oh, they're just lazy, oh, they just want to be promiscuous and no, there are a lot of reasons why women make a decision about what they want to do with their body. And they really don't owe us an explanation. But here's an example. Like, it's not that easy. You don't just have sex, get pregnant, have a great 9 months, and then whoop, a baby pops out. There's a lot of women who go through multiple miscarriages, and they may never tell you that story. There are a lot of women who have to go through all sorts of expensive medical procedures to even get pregnant. There are a lot of women who have things that run in their family which cause them to make the decision to say, you know what, I just don't even want it. You know, and so at the end of the day, I don't know, Xavier. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I don't know. I don't know. So at the end of the day, that's why I always say that to you guys. And I know, again, I know a lot of you know this already, but a lot of people don't. That it's just not that black and white. And so my thoughts and prayers, you know, obviously go out to her and her family. Is a horrible loss, you know. But when I read that, that's just the first thing I thought about. I was like, oh wow, you know. And I don't know all of the details, so I'll just be honest. I don't know all of the details, but that is what is being reported, is that she passed away during childbirth. Okay. Um, yeah, it's just not. It's just not easy for everybody. Okay. All right, a little update to the Jocelyn Hernandez situation. Now, according to Funky Neva, and I believe Funky Neva because one, I know that Neva know these people. I mean, he ain't best friends and all that, but I know he knows stuff and he know people. Okay. And two, Funky Neva don't drop down often and give people a lot of tea. Not anymore. Not anymore. He really be in his lane, minding his business. Okay. But Funky Neva did a video earlier today, and he explained that Jocelyn did not get arrested because of the incident that we saw. Allegedly, there was another incident after that, and that is what led to the arrest. So that doesn't mean she won't still be charged for what we saw, but that allegedly, that's according to Funky Neva, allegedly that's not what she was arrested for. And you, whoever dropped down in my chat yesterday or the day before yesterday, I think it was yesterday, and said that when Jocelyn was booked, she was booked. Her race was that what they did mark her race as white. You are absolutely correct. I did see that. It's being posted all over the internet now, child. You know, that's being posted everywhere now. So, I did see that, and I mean, as you can see right here, can y'all see it? Y'all might not be able to see. Oh, that's Tyler Perry, child. No wonder. Hold on. That's blurry. Y'all can't see it. Anyway, believe me, it's true. And we talked about that yesterday. We did the whole video on Zeus and stuff. We talked about that. That a lot of times, Latino men and women are put under white when it comes to arrests, when it comes to emergency rooms and stuff like that. It's a way to skew the numbers. It's stuff they do to skew the numbers. Um, I know it's not like they ask her race, but she don't look white. Now, come on, now, don't play with me. Nothing about Jocelyn Hernandez look white. And the minute she open her mouth and say anything, you know she's not a white woman. Like, come on, y'all, stop. I know the police don't ask her race, but if you were a police officer and you pulled Jocelyn Hernandez over for a speeding ticket, what about her says white woman? Even without her makeup and stuff on, you can see in her picture, in her mug shot. Tell me what y'all see about that say white woman to you. Tell me. Even with the plastic surgery. Y'all tell me what says white woman about this. Now I'm sorry. Now. But like I said, that is something that they do to skew the data. They do it in jail. Somebody in healthcare told me they do it in healthcare. They do it to skew the data. So when it looks like when the number, how the numbers look. Anyway, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Right. And her last name is Hernandez. Come on now. I mean, even if you were wrong, if I were a police officer, I would be if once I saw her name, I would be like, oh, she's Latino. Now, if I'm wrong, you would have to come back and correct me from being wrong. But I would be like, oh, she's Latino. Like, anyway, child, moving on. Moving on. Xavier, ain't nobody fooling with you. Ain't nobody fooling with you. All right. So moving on, child. But that's according to Funky Dineva. So if Funky Dineva information is legit, that means that woman turned around and got into a whole nother altercation after what we saw on camera. A whole nother physical situation. And you know, she's just out of control. The woman is just out of control. So anyway, she was booked. I think she out now, but she was booked. She was booked. All right. Now, last week, and I really didn't report on this. Many Latinos identify as white. Her ethnicity is Latino. Race can still be white. It doesn't surprise me. You know, the reason why I say this about Jocelyn, and I said this yesterday, I said this last week, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it because I want y'all to get it. It goes back to why Jocelyn felt justified in what she did with Amber Rose. Because she said, listen, I'm Puerto Rican, but I chose to be black. I chose to identify as a black woman. Right? And that was the point that I was making last week. You made a choice, which means that just like you're saying PRH phone 3, which means that just like you woke up one day and you chose to be a black woman, you can wake up tomorrow and choose to identify as a white woman. I understand what you're saying, and that's the point that I'm making. So for her to then turn back on Amber Rose and be so indignant and have the nerve to talk to Amber Rose and say you don't want to be black, and how could you not want to be black, and be so indignant and get physical with this woman. That's my point. I understand the difference between ethnicity and race. Race is a social construct. I get that. But what I'm saying is going back specifically to Jocelyn, and what happened with College Hill. And she even did an interview on Drink Champs where she was talking about it, and she was like, well, how they gonna put me out of HBCU? I was the blackest one on the cast. Excuse me. So that's the point that I'm making. I understand. I don't want to get into no whole history lesson, and I know y'all are very intelligent. That's just the point that I was making, as specifically as it relates to Jocelyn. I wouldn't have never brought it up if it wasn't that Jocelyn got into a whole fight last week over somebody not being black enough, and now here she is on her arrest certificate. I mean, I said certificate. Y'all know what I'm saying. Her booking sheet as a white woman. That's the only point I'm making. That's the only point I make. You said Jocelyn don't know the difference. I will. Speaking of choosing, didn't Jocelyn also say that LGBT folk chose to be gay, lesbian, trans, etc.? I remember her saying some dumb ish like that a while back. She might have, but doesn't she identify as bisexual? I thought Jocelyn identified as bisexual. She might have said it, child. Jocelyn, she might have said it. And again, I would never even bring that up. It wouldn't even be an issue if it wasn't a fact of the whole fight that happened with her and Amber Rose. And it was over Amber Rose and her what's the word I'm looking for? Because I don't want to say confusion. Her challenge with her identity. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So that's all I was saying. Again, it ain't about all Latinos. I'm not making a sweeping statement on. I'm talking about Jocelyn Hernandez. That is it, and that is all. Okay, that is it, and that is all. The crazy thing is Amber Rose isn't even biracial to me. Her mom, yes, but Amber is that one drop rule. Yeah, I haven't been watching the show, so I can't speak to what she said on the show, but I can only speak to she's that one drop rule. But the problem is, and she even said it on her Instagram, the problem is black people will say, well, you're not black. But white people will say, but you're not white. So where does she fit in? Where does she belong? And again, remember, we're not talking about 2021, 2023 evolved people where we're all pretty much just all blending together, which is part of the reason why the white folk is so mad. But don't get me going. See, y'all gonna get me going down a whole road I ain't trying to go down tonight. But that's part of the reason why these extreme right wing people are so mad about all the things that they mad about. Part of the reason is because the pot is getting more and more mixed, okay? And it's just not becoming a thing anymore because everybody's just mixed and mingled. But that's been the issue. She grew up in an inner city with a mixed mama who probably presents very black, right? She grew up in Philadelphia in the 1980s, 1990s. I'm sure it's easy for us on the outside to be like, oh, well, she ain't black. She got that one drop rule. Her mama's mixed, but she ain't mixed. I get it. I get that. I mean, like I said, I ain't trying to really go down that road with y'all. I love y'all, but I really ain't trying to do it. But I'm talking about from her vantage point, growing up in a black neighborhood with black folk all around you, probably going to a black school, dealing with the identity. Now, nowadays, growing up in 2023, she would probably have a very different experience because the world is a little more understanding and a little more tolerant and a little more evolved than it was then. Y'all understand what I'm saying? But moving on. I just don't understand how Amber doesn't think she's accepted by black people when most of her audience and her income comes from being in black culture. Now, Xavier, again, I didn't watch the show, so I don't know what she said. So let me put that to the side. I don't know what she said on the show. But again, I don't know what her experiences were growing up. But you're right. She definitely has come up off of the back of black culture. I get that. I get that. Okay, moving on, because I really ain't trying to get stuck there. That's another show for another day, child. I'm not trying to get stuck there. Child, and I promise y'all, somebody is gonna leave a long ass dissertation under this video explaining to me the difference and what Puerto Ricans are. And I get it. Please, let me say this to y'all right now. Please don't. I get it. I understand. I'm very educated. We're having a conversation about one person. Please don't. I love you, but please don't. Thank you. All right. How old is Amber? Isn't Amber Rose like in her late 30s, early 40s? I think somewhere in there. Late 30s, early 40s. I don't know. Somebody Google it because I honestly don't know. I don't know. Okay. She's 39. Okay, so late 30s, early 40s. Okay, I was close. I was within the ballpark. Okay, thank you, Xavier. So last week, and y'all know I wasn't gonna say nothing about this because I was like, time will reveal all things. So last week, and I started to do a quick drop speculation, but I just don't care. I didn't care enough. Just think we have Kanye to thank for Amber. Right. Just something else that we can put in the Kanye West column. Last week, NeNe Leakes started posting these cryptic messages on her Instagram about narcissists. Narcissist this and narcissist that. And I said, okay, well, I guess she done broke up with the boyfriend. She must be talking about the boyfriend. Because people like NeNe and Tamar and some of these, Anita Baker, they feel the need to break everything down for us on social media. And then will say, why is everybody always in my business? Why do y'all always have an attitude? I mean, have an opinion. We have an opinion because you have shared with us the information for us to form an opinion. Now, our opinion may be only based on limited information, but it is our opinion nonetheless. Okay. So, with that being said, and then another reason why I didn't come right out and say anything is because literally the next day I saw a picture of NeNe with her boyfriend, and I was like, oh well, she must be talking about somebody. She must be talking about somebody that she's working with or somebody in her inner circle or something because she with the boyfriend right here. Well, fast forward to yesterday, allegedly, her and the boyfriend have broken up, and once again, she is posting about narcissists. So let me just read to you guys what it says. Narcissists do not have the ability to self-reflect. They cannot see anything wrong with what they do, and they only see fault in your reaction. They believe every argument is caused by you because to them, there was no problem with their actions until you reacted to them. They 100% believe you are the problem and they are the victim. It's mind blowing. Then she put a narcissist is the devil. So I have a few things to say about that. First of all, I'm going to say to you, NeNe Leaks, pot, meat, kettle. Right, Kia, me and you was thinking the same thing, girl. Pot, meat, kettle. Because I feel like you just described yourself based on what we know. I know we don't know NeNe like that. We ain't in her inner circle, but based on what you have shown us over the years, NeNe, ma'am, pot, meat, kettle. Right, the call is coming from inside the house, okay? The call is coming from inside of the house. I'm like, what? If you were ever abused by an actual narcissist in your life, you would not play with that word. Nothing to play with. I agree. I think we overuse narcissists. Everybody just because if somebody is everybody want to diagnose somebody as a narcissist. I try to be very I try to steer clear of that word because I think it's overused and most people don't know what the hell they talking about. Child, right? Jonathan will be showing up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Child. So with that being said, this is what I'm gonna say to you, Miss NeNe. If you are talking about that man that you've been gallivanting around with for the last year and a half or however long y'all been together, if you are talking about that man, this is what I'm gonna say. God ain't gonna never send you somebody else's husband, man. That that man, I always believed. This is my opinion. This me really be. This me, my opinion. I have always because we see each other. Thank you, Kia, for the super chat 4.99. She said because we see each other. Yes, ma'am. I see you. You see me. We see each other. Yes. Thank you so much, my love. I truly believe that man lied to you, NeNe. Do I think that maybe him and his wife might have been going through some things and their marriage wasn't all that was cracked up to be, and maybe they were on the verge of divorce? Sure, maybe. I don't know. Don't know. Maybe. Absolutely. But I absolutely believe that woman when she said they were still living in the same house when he met NeNe. And I absolutely believe that woman when she said that one day she just looked up and she saw her husband on the shade room with NeNe Leakes. He left to go out of town and he never came back. I 100% believe that. And I don't care. That's my opinion. Based on the information I read and what I saw with my own two eyes, I absolutely believe that man maybe their marriage was in a bad space and they were in the process of figuring those things out. I believe that fine, but I also believe that man went down to bar one in Charlotte. And we got Peter Thomas to thank for this because remember Peter Thomas introduced it to them. That man went down to the bar one in Charlotte before it closed, and he met NeNe Leakes via Peter Thomas, and he was caught up in the rapture. And next thing you know, he was doing his best Harlem Nights imitation. Put your mama on the phone. I ain't never coming back. He came home. He packed the bag. He told his wife that he was going out of town for the weekend, and his ass never came back. Next thing you know, she was scrolling Instagram and saw her man sitting next to NeNe Leakes down to the Lanithia Lounge. Let's not forget that this man was with NeNe at her celebration for Greg. Remember, he was there, and we were like, "How about who this man? Where he come from?" Now, I'm not gonna begrudge NeNe of that because we know that Greg was sick for a very long time, and I'm not gonna begrudge NeNe none of that. Okay, we don't know the timeline. We don't know the conversations that her and Greg had privately about NeNe moving on with her life. But we're not gonna forget that this man, Mr. Noni Rose, whatever the man name is, was hanging around the Lanithia weeks after Greg passed away. And I believe that he got in where he fit in, and he took his happy ass down to Atlanta, and he has been globe trotting ever since with the Lanithia Leakes. Now that's my opinion. And I believe that you are finally seeing what the wife saw all along. Now, she talking about something, I didn't steal nobody's husband. Your husband voluntarily came. Ma'am, that man is still, as far as we know, he's still legally married. Is the divorce final yet? As far as we know, he's still legally married. And this woman then sued you. Shoot. Now, the other thing we got to talk about with Miss NeNe Leakes, we talked about it last night on the panel. They done airbrushed NeNe out of. Bravo was petty for this. Now, I ain't gonna lie, Bravo was petty for this shit. Ooh, they was petty. They done airbrushed NeNe ass out of the old flashbacks from the beginning of the episode. Now, first of all, y'all petty for seeing it. Okay? Y'all are petty for seeing it. I didn't even notice. I watched the same show that y'all watching. I didn't even notice that man, not man, sorry, that NeNe have been airbrushed out. Y'all be noticing everything. Nothing gets past y'all. I guess the NeNe fans saw it because I ain't even paid no damn attention. I promise y'all I didn't. But they done airbrushed NeNe out of them flashbacks of the old Real Housewives of Atlanta from the beginning of the first episode the other night. Now, this one I'm gonna say to y'all. If y'all ever questioned me about what I be trying to tell y'all, here's the thing. And I love y'all, I do. I love y'all down. Yeah, I think the Lanithia is closed. Remember, she was trying to give it to Brent. Remember, she said she didn't really want to run it anymore, and she was trying to give it to Brent, and then Brent got sick. So, and I will say this: when we went to the Lanithia, Brent was running that place. I mean, Brent was all over the place. I told y'all somebody at our little booth, our little table area had dropped a drink, and before I could flag down a waitress, he was there with a mop. I don't know how the hell he knew, how the hell he saw it, but he was there with a mop, mopping it up and cleaning it up. Before I could flag down a waitress to say, "Excuse me, there's a drink right here on the floor." So I'll give it to Brent. I think he would have been good. I don't know about the behind the table stuff, the books and keep it up with the leak, the business side of it. But as far as customer service and all of that, Britt was on it. Now I will say that. He was there all night and he was everywhere. He was in the front making sure people were getting in and tables were cleaned and drinks. He was on it. He was on it. I'm give him all the credit for that. But let me say this. I tried to tell y'all, and I know for y'all NeNe fans, y'all don't like to hear this, and I get it. That's your girl. But I really, truly tried to tell y'all there are certain lines you don't cross. Now, last night in the panel, I read the comments. We can't address everything. The panel be 300 people in the chat, and there's 4 or 5 of us on the panel, so we can't address everything. Okay, but what I can say is this: people say, "Well, what about Portia? What about Phaedra. Phaedra told a whole lie on Candy, and Phaedra, they got her on other platforms. Listen, y'all, please listen what I'm going to tell y'all. Listen carefully. First of all, Phaedra is not back. I mean, Phaedra's exodus from Real Housewives of Atlanta isn't because Bravo fired her. I mean, they fired her that first season. But I honestly believe if Candy was cool with with Phaedra coming back, Phaedra would be back. So yes, they put her on Ultimate Girls Trip. Yes, she's on Married to Medicine because Bravo wants Phaedra back. Candy just don't. That's the difference. As far as Portia is concerned, Portia didn't get fired. Portia didn't get fired. Portia quit. Now, when Portia got into those altercations, she got bust down, and she had to agree to go to anger management. I think she was a friend of the show that season, and she had to agree to go to anger management. But as soon as she did, um, what they told her to do for her anger management class, you saw it on the show. She was right back. She had her peach right back. So the difference with NeNe is this. Number one, NeNe got fired. I went to the Lethea a week before Greg passed, but I did see Brent in there. You said you did or you didn't, Miss Kiki? Technically, NeNe walked out on the reunion. If you guys remember, it was a virtual reunion because of the Panorama. They were on the Zoom. Remember, Lenithia, NeNe Leakes slammed her computer shut and refused to come back. Remember, they were trying to call her and NeNe wouldn't come back. So technically, oh, you saw him there. Okay. Technically, NeNe walked off of the reunion. That's number one. Miss Toby, where you been? Hey, girl, I missed you. You better get your butt over here sometime. I've been missing you, Miss Toby. Exactly. Miss Toby said they still have a relationship with Bravo and they know how to play the game. Exactly. They know how to play the game. Portia has a good relationship with Bravo. You see, she did the Ultimate Girls Trip. And I believe Portia's gonna be back next season. I honestly believe Portia's gonna be back next season. And she's gonna get a good payday based on the way this season is going and the ratings. And even though the ratings from Sunday night were really good, they were high. But I think Portia will be back next season. But y'all have to remember that NeNe technically walked off her job. She quit in the middle of the reunion, right? Her boss was calling her, aka Andy. Remember, Andy was even asking the other ladies, "Can y'all call NeNe? Can y'all call NeNe?" She wasn't answering her phone. Then she sued them, said that they were racist, and said that Andy was a drug addict. Now, please tell me where you get your job back. I'll wait. I want all of y'all tomorrow to go to y'all boss, supervisor, whoever. I want y'all to file a lawsuit against your employer. I want you to go on public platform and call your boss a drug addict and sue them for racial discrimination after you've already quit. Let's be clear. You didn't get fired for this. You already quit. Now, has she already been working has she still been employed by NBC Universal? She may have been protected from retaliation and they couldn't fire her, right? But the fact that she was already no longer an employee, why would they bring her back? And again, I ain't got no beef with NeNe. I like NeNe, and I do think NeNe makes good TV. But at the end of the day, there are certain things you just can't do. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in this as being TV and TV and the reality world, whatever. I think we forget that this is a job. and you have bosses, and you have protocols, and you have human resources, and you have attorneys, and they are like, it's the same rules. And I think we forget that sometimes because it's entertainment to us. But at the end of the day, NeNe was an employee of NBC Universal. She has filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against NBC Universal and Bravo and Andy Cohen. All three of them are in her lawsuit. She alleged years and years of racial prejudice, however the word is, however the language is written. I might, you know what? I might need to get Pam or Simone. I might need to get one of them to come over here and for us to go over NeNe's lawsuit. Because I think maybe we, and myself included, I think maybe we didn't forgot everything that's in that lawsuit and we don't understand. But for all the people that keep acting like, well, they let so-and-so come back, they let so-and-so come back, because there was another housewife, one of the White Housewives, that they let come back after she sued them. But she did not sue them for, what did she sue? She sued Bravo for something. It wasn't what NeNe is suing them for. It was like defamation. She sued somebody for defamation. I think because it was something that was said in an episode and they aired it and she didn't want them to air it. But they settled that years ago, and it was for defamation. It was something totally different. But they settled that. But I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna reach out. Excuse me. I think Simone. I'm gonna reach out to Simone and see if Simone can pull NeNe's lawsuit, and maybe we need to just go over it, child. Now, like I said, I love me some NeNe. I do. I know y'all might not think I do, but I love NeNe. I love NeNe. I really do. And I think NeNe makes great TV. But I also know in that last season, those last two seasons, NeNe didn't seem happy. She was insufferable. And again, behind the scenes, T was nobody, the camera and crew could not stand her. They didn't like going to her house to film. They didn't like, she was late. When she bothered to show up, she was late and she was nasty. Nobody wants to deal with that. That's the same thing that happened with Quad. Quad got a little too big for her britches, and that's why Quad almost got fired. Now she was bumped down to a friend of, but Quad had actually gotten fired. And certain people on the cast, Dr. Heavenly was one of them, actually went to production and sort of begged for Quad to get her job back. And she came back, but I think that humbled her ass a little bit. But Quad, because she was on Sister Circle and she was doing her cookbook and all that, and she got a little too big for her britches too. And what people don't understand about when you are doing these reality shows and when you are late, you're throwing everything off. So, like, for example, if NeNe is at a group, if it's supposed to be a group scene, they can't film it until NeNe shows up. If it's a group scene, then the group people have to be there. Y'all remember that last season that Kim Zolciak was on there, and Candy was supposed to meet for lunch. And remember, Candy had been there like almost over an hour waiting on Kim, and the rest of us was like, "Oh hell no, I would have left. I would have left." Oh Lord, here he come, y'all. Here he come. Here he come. We were waiting for you, Jonathan. And all the rest of us was like, "Shoot, I would have left. I would have left. I would have left." But she couldn't leave because she was there working. And that's another reason why she was irritated, because you wasted my time. Like, I don't have nothing else better to do. So a lot of times we see this stuff and it's not just, oh, this person is late. It affects everybody else. But anyway, so that's the NeNe thing. Jonathan, you done came in late. You're going to have to rewind, child, because I ain't about to go back so I can argue with you about NeNe, okay? I ain't about to go back and argue with you about NeNe, okay? Y'all know I love my Jonathan, child. Y'all know I love my Jonathan. Okay. Tory Lanez sentencing has been pushed back to August. Listen, at this point, child, at this point, is he ever gonna get a sentence? Is he ever gonna get his sentence? I mean, he got the whole summer. But at this point, I really don't care. As long as if he were out on bond, and they kept extending it, I probably would be irritated because I'd be like, he outliving his best life. He in the studio, he touring, he doing all this. I probably would be upset. But child, he's sitting in jail, so I don't care. I really don't. He in jail. So good luck with that. All right. Uh Now there have been conflicting reports about this whole BET acquisition. It was reported it was reported that Tyler Perry has acquired BET and VH1. BET Plus, and VH1. Shout out to the 200 people in the room. Please, if you have not already hit the like button, please hit the like button. I appreciate you. And if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Child, y'all know you see we having a good time over here. We talking and laughing and joking and stuff. Child. And donations are not required, but they are accepted, and I appreciate each and every one of you. All right. Allegedly, but the problem was the person who first reported it. Now, I first saw it on B Sky, but that's not the first person who reported it. The first person who reported it is a website called The Streamer. So I'm reading this from the Jasmine brand. Reports that Tyler Perry finalized a deal to acquire BET may have been premature. The Streamer reported yesterday that Tyler Perry agreed to purchase BET from parent company Paramount Global for an undisclosed figure. Perry's acquisition will reportedly coincide with Paramount's financial losses. According to the outlet's source, the deal would relieve Paramount Global as they are hemorrhaging money. The media mogul would have a controlling stake in BET Media Group, which includes VH1. Earlier this year, Diddy and Byron Allen expressed interest in acquiring the entertainment network. Perry has enjoyed a mutually beneficial partnership with BET. I hate that they wrote the actor because he's more than just an actor, but okay. Actor, director, producer, whatever. Celebrated the corporation to launch BET Plus, a streaming service that includes original programs and content from BET's archive. So this is what I think is going on. A lot of times these stories come out prematurely, but it is a done deal. They just haven't made the actual announcement yet. That does happen a lot. So do I think that somebody leaked it, somebody said it, and it wasn't supposed to be said? They had to sort of bring it back, but it is getting ready to happen. I do feel like that. I feel like Tyler Perry finalized the deal. And I feel like they're probably going to make an announcement, I would say within the next 30 days, maybe not even that long. I think we will get a formal announcement with a big, a big rollout. Remember, like the article just said, Tyler Perry remember, he moved all of his shows and he moved everything off of OWN, for the exception of the Have and the Have Nots. Remember, he moved everything from OWN to BET and BET Plus. All of his movies, his archives, everything, when he signed that big deal when BET Plus rolled out. I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. I remember they made a big deal about it on the BET Awards. They kept promoting it. He did all those Medea commercials and stuff like that. You know what, Janae? That might be it at the BET Awards, because the BET Awards are coming up in the next couple of weeks. You know what? That could be when they announce it. That could be when they announce it. I was pulling for Byron Allen. I absolutely was pulling for Byron Allen. But I'm gonna tell you a couple of things that make sense to me. Y'all notice how over the last 6 months, yeah, right. But the Have and the Have Nots was the only show that stayed, and they just stayed until it was done. He didn't put any new shows. Remember, that's when he took Sisters was on BET. The show about the cult, El Teddy reviews that show on his channel, was on BET. All of the old Tyler Perry stuff, the sitcoms. Remember, he rebooted House of Pain. He did a reboot of House of Pain. He did the show about that's got what's his name on there from the Tom Joy in the Morning Show on there. So they did all of that was on BET Plus. So notice how all of these shows are moving from VH1 to MTV, and everybody was like, why are all these shows going to MTV? What's the big deal? They're all, they're all the same family. RuPaul's Drag Race, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Black Ink Crew, and Couples Retreat, and it was another show. Tammy Roman's show just got renewed for a second season. All of those shows are moving to MTV. It's almost as if VH1 is cleaning house to keep what they want to keep. And I'm sure it's part of the deal. I'm sure they worked all of that out and it's all part of the deal that they hammered out. But it'll be very, very interesting because honestly, what's left on VH1? It's almost a clean slate. Now, we know VH1 really started off as a competitor to MTV. It was a music channel, but hell, ain't none of them playing music no more. But you notice how everything moved over to MTV. So the fact that Black Ink is still on VH1. Okay, thank you. I don't watch Black Ink anymore. Cheaters. Okay, so it is very interesting. And I said, oh, that makes sense because I guess they're dividing up the shows, right? This is gonna stay here. That's gonna go over there. This is gonna stay here. So it'll be very interesting to see what Tyler Perry does because I do think that's my opinion. I don't know that to be a fact. But I do think that I think he did do it. I think it's just a matter of seeing for everything to play out, everything to trickle down and play out. I feel the Miss Pat show is carrying BET Plus Miss Pat. I forgot about that. The Miss Pat show. Yeah, and somebody asked me about somebody said, what are my thoughts on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? I don't, the show, it ain't come on yet. I don't have no thoughts. I don't have no thoughts on it yet. I'm actually happy for us, especially since it's Black owned. That's all that matters to me. It would have been cute if they put Love and Hip Hop and them other shows on BET. And he might do it. He might shuffle it around. Well, no, that's why I forgot. It's not going to be. He's got MTV now. But I'm going to say this. I would love to see them bring back Septima. Yeah, thank you. I would love to see them bring back some of the old stuff they used to do. Like they used to put the HBCU football games on BET. Like that kind of stuff. I would love to see that kind of stuff coming back. So yeah, we'll see. But I believe it. Again, it's mixed reports, but most people are sort of sticking to this story that Tyler Perry finalized the deal. So I think he did. And I think we'll hear about it. I like that. The BET Awards is on June the 25th. Yeah. I say within the next 30 days, but that would definitely, the week of the BET Awards, that I could definitely see that being a major, major announcement. And then he could sort of show up at the BET Awards and do his little, State of the Union or something like that. Basketball Wives Orlando. Yeah, they announced that there's a Basketball Wives Orlando. So let me say this to you guys. I am not vested in this franchise. I never watched Basketball Wives until I started doing YouTube. And I told you guys when I first started doing YouTube because, Video Soul is coming back. It's been on a digital platform, but it's coming back to BET. And I love me some Donnie Simpson. I grew up in DC with Donnie Simpson, so I love me some Donnie Simpson. I'm just not vested in the platform. When I first started doing YouTube and I was doing most of my YouTube were me reviewing. And I told you guys I used to review everything. I told you guys I reviewed TV shows that only stayed on for one season. You know what I mean? I reviewed everything. And I started reviewing Basketball Wives because, of course, I was trying to build up my channel. And I was like, let me review it. But I came in the season, my first season of reviewing Basketball Wives was the season that OG came on the show. So I reviewed that season. I reviewed the season after that. And then I tried to review last season. I'm just not vested. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't care. I can't say that I will or I won't watch it. I mean, it's a new show. It's a new franchise. I mean, it's a new city. I may watch it to see what it's given. But I don't know, y'all. I just don't know. I know that I'm not going to review Basketball Wives LA. I don't care that Evelyn is back. I don't care about none of that, and I'm not reviewing it. They said Megan is on there, and I don't even know who that is. So you know who that is. I don't even know who that is. So yeah. clear. So I'm not. That's that. That's just that. Okay. I think we got one or two more things. I know y'all want to talk about this Nita Baker thing, child. Hold on, let me look at my list. Let me see what I talked about. Okay. All right. Two more things, and then we're gonna talk about Nita Baker. Okay. Dwayne Wade has cleared up this whole him and Gabrielle Union do everything 50-50. Listen, he was on Club Shay Shay down to Shannon Sharp. He was in Club Shay Shay. And thank you, Tracy. Thank you, my love. And shout out to the 200 people in the room. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so now. Tracy, I had to do better about that, y'all. I had to get my Newport's BTV. It's hot this evening. Yes, girl. I understood what he was saying. First of all, I didn't care when he said it. I mean, when Gabrielle Union I didn't care. I think only people just want to be outraged about shit just for the sake of being outraged about shit. I promise you they do. Gabrielle Union saying that her and her husband split everything 50-50. Why was that an issue? In a lot of marriages, they split the bills 50-50. Now, I understand that we take into account that if you make more money than I make, okay, fine. Dwayne Wade is definitely worth more money than Gabrielle Union is worth. But let's not act like Gabrielle Union is a pauper making minimum wage down to the Walmart. She's a millionaire in her own right. You know what I'm saying? Gabrielle Union has been a staple in Black Hollywood for many, many years. She's done TV shows. She's done production. She's done a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Let's not act like this woman is in the poorhouse. Now, she explained, and I felt like she explained it clearly when she told the story. So Dwayne Wade reiterated, and what Dwayne Wade said was, listen, she got bills that she has on her side. I have bills that I have on my side. But when it comes to household bills, when it comes to shared bills, we split them 50-50. That doesn't mean that everything in this marriage is 50-50 because that ain't it. That's not what and I never got the impression that that's what Gabrielle Union said anyway. But he said that it started because one day, I guess they were arguing. That's when they were still living in Miami. And they were arguing about something. And Dwayne Wade said something about, well, this is my house. Gabrielle Union said to him, you will never be able to throw that in my face again. And from that point forward, she split the bills with him 50-50 because even though that was the house that he purchased with his money, she said from now on, everything that come in this house, we splitting that 50-50 because you'll never be able to throw that in my face again. He said when they packed up Miami and they decided to move to California, 50-50. The house they bought, they split it. They 50-50. I'm going to pay half. You're going to pay for half of it. Electric bill, ring bill, car note. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I get it. Because if I was Gabrielle Union, I probably would have said the same damn thing. I probably would have said the same damn thing. Like, oh, your house? Oh, okay. All right, cool. Cool. But I'll tell you what, you'll never be able to do again. Okay. I didn't either, Ravine. I didn't understand why it was an issue. I didn't understand why people made a big deal about it. Like, I don't understand. I just didn't get it. I didn't, and that's why I didn't even talk about it. We didn't even talk about it down here at the yeah, they signed a prenup. They have a prenup. We didn't even talk about it down here to the tribe meeting. We ain't talk about it to the tribe meeting because I didn't care. I didn't think it was a big deal. But literally, people have made whole, I mean, people have done whole panels about this. And I just thought that was how marriage worked. They had a court, allegedly they had a break baby. A break baby. They weren't together at the time. He was messing with somebody and got her pregnant. Then they got back together. That's allegedly, that's the story that they telling and they sticking to it. Okay. Okay. Only reason why I brought that up is because I just, again, I felt like, All right. Mark Daly is alleging that Kenya Moore is the reason why the 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 divorce has not happened. Mark, we don't believe you. He alleges that they came up with a preliminary agreement and that Kenya is refusing to sign it. Well, it sounds to me like it wasn't an agreement. If y'all came up with a preliminary agreement, but she refuses to sign it sounds to me like that's not what y'all agreed upon. I'm just saying. There's nobody in the world that believes that Kenya Moore is holding up her divorce. Nobody. Mark, we don't believe you. In other Bravo news, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills will debut in November. They have been filming for a couple of months. They started filming like maybe 2-3 months ago. Remember, they were put on pause after the season finale because of how bad last season was. We know Kathy Hilton is not coming back. Lisa Rinna is not coming back. We do have a couple of new housewives, another black woman, child. But it will premiere in November, so it'll be back in November. It's going to be interesting the scheduling of Bravo over the next couple of months because we have the OC now and we have Atlanta. So OC just started. Well, I guess New York is coming in. So New York is coming in. The OC just started. Atlanta probably has another month and a half, I guess, by the time you add in the reunion. So then New York starts. So I guess New York is going to run us into like July, August, I guess. Maybe. Um, is I guess Miami because Miami is filming and Miami. Remember, Miami is coming back to Bravo. It's not going to be just on streaming on Peacock. It's coming back to Bravo. So yeah, no, Sheree isn't coming back from my understanding. Sheree didn't come back. So with that being said, um, down to the New Jersey, which don't forget we will be going live tonight to talk about part 3 of the New Jersey reunion. If you watch New Jersey, we'll be back and we'll be watching that live. But I mean, we'll be reviewing that live at I think 9:30. I scheduled it. But with that being said, we know New Jersey has been put on pause. They're not going to start filming again until August, I think. So they have been put on pause, telling them y'all need to chill pill, y'all need to take a break, y'all need to chillax. Allegedly, rumors are going around. Listen. I don't know how many times we got to tell y'all this stuff. I don't know how many times we have to tell y'all Bravo does not publicly, let's say that word, because I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but Bravo does not publicly speak on personnel until this season is over. The Real Housewives of New Jersey is not over yet. We have tonight's episode. Now, after tonight, let the rumors fly. But the rumor is flying that Marge and Melissa have been fired. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if Melissa and Marge are fired. Now, that doesn't mean it won't happen. Doesn't mean it won't happen. But I will be shocked for it to happen. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Married to Medicine will be back. I forgot about Married to Medicine. Married to Medicine will be back. I forgot about that. And that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Again, I don't know that to be a fact, y'all. I'm just telling you my opinion. Um, and because this season was so explosive, and I understand that Teresa has done this whole ultimatum and she doesn't want to be with Melissa. She doesn't want to film with Melissa. But baby, let me tell you something. Good TV is good TV. And Bravo would be a fool, especially depending on how explosive this season ends up being. This part 3 of this reunion ends up being tonight. Bravo would be a fool to not follow up on none of these storylines. This whole uh private investigator situation, allegedly um allegedly shit, Louis investigating these people. Now Marge ain't got a major storyline, but when it comes to standing up to Teresa and going toe to toe, Marge ain't got no problems with doing it. And so with that being said, Teresa is going to film. Teresa gonna film. Melissa's been giving it to Teresa. Sorry, I'm late. Yeah. I think Teresa's coming back, and I think Melissa's coming back. I absolutely believe both of them are coming back. I do. I believe both of them are coming back. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City coming back. Yeah. You know what? I forgot about Salt Lake City, and I forgot about Dubai. Okay, so we good. I was thinking, I don't know why I was forgot. Yeah, they filmed another season of Salt Lake City. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if it's worth watching. Mary Cosby is back. Mary Cosby is back. I don't know if it's worth watching other than Mary. Um so yeah. But yeah, I forgot about Salt Lake City. Yeah, Salt Lake City's yeah, I forgot about Salt Lake City. Um so with that being said, I would not hold my breath on Melissa being fired. Honestly, I would not hold my breath on that. If I were in production, I would just listen. I would just find a way to film around it. Okay, so Teresa and Melissa are not going to film together. Fine. Teresa won't film with Melissa. Melissa won't film with Teresa. But I'm going to tell you what I bet will happen. I bet you the paycheck big enough. I bet you their ass will be in the same room. And they ain't got to talk to each other. But I bet you we can get them in the room together. I hope not. Team Melissa over here. I give Teresa and her husband 2 years. So Miss Toby, you missed that last week when we talked at the reunion. I said that. I said not this season that they're gonna be filming, but the season this was season 13. By season 15, I said that by season 15, that season is gonna be all about Teresa and Joe making up. Cause she gonna realize who Louis is and what Louis is and all of them good things. Because let me tell you what Teresa did. I'm gonna tell you why. Even if Teresa had a good point, I'm gonna tell you what did it for me, or what I think did it for Andy. When Teresa sat there and act like she was in charge, talking about you're leaving. This is your last season. You're getting fired. And y'all heard what Andy said under his breath. He said, "Good luck with that." Did y'all hear Andy say that? Andy said, "Good luck with that." Teresa don't run nothing over there. I mean, don't get me wrong. She does, but she doesn't. There's a point for everybody. You know what I'm saying? There's a point for everybody. And at a certain point, they ain't playing no games with y'all. If you have Peacock, the Housewives of Durban, you know what? I might need to check that out. Joe and Melissa, they're not no angels. They're not no angels. But neither is Teresa. And Louis, I don't trust Louis as far as I can see his little lobster looking ass. Louis got some shit with him. Right. And Teresa and Louis do not have a prenup. So God forbid he does get into some legal trouble. She's gonna be right back where she started with her husband. Anyway, some people just don't learn. So that's my Bravo update, child. That's my Bravo update. All right. I had an update on. I ain't even gonna talk about it. I was gonna give y'all an update on Whitehead, child. We ain't even gonna talk about Whitehead, child. We ain't gonna talk about. I just waiting for him to go to jail, child. Okay. Anita Baker and Babyface, child. Listen. So a couple of weeks ago, we found out that I think it was I forgot where they were, child. Was it New Jersey? I don't think it was New Jersey. I think I'm making that up. Maybe it was New Jersey. Anyway, we found Babyface tweeted out. He tweeted an apology to his fans that he wasn't able to perform. He said that there was some sort of technical issue and that he was made aware that Miss Baker needed to perform her entire set. I didn't hear any shade in that statement. I didn't hear any nastiness in that statement. I just heard matter of fact, this is what it is. And I just want to let my people know why I wasn't on stage. Okay. People then started attacking. We know that we talked about it over here. People started attacking. Y'all want to update on Whitehead? Okay. You know what? They are looking for, they are scouting for New Orleans, but that probably wouldn't be out till sometime in 2024. Because I saw them scouting for it, but I didn't really see nothing more after that. Child, I couldn't tell you that, Tracy. These women, it was in New Jersey, thank you. These women look in the mirror and they just see stuff. So, okay, so it was in New Jersey. Okay, so Babyface, to my knowledge, I don't remember Babyface saying nothing else, honestly. The fans was dragging Anita Baker, and then Anita Baker did come out and explain what happened. Anita Baker said, "Listen, we had issues with the sound. By the time we got done fixing it, we didn't have time for him to perform and me to perform, and damn it, it's my tour. So I went on stage. Now listen, I ain't got no problems with that. Okay? It is her tour. Because what a lot of people don't understand is a lot of these arenas, they can only perform to a certain time. They don't have unlimited time. They have to cut off by a certain time. And if they don't cut off by a certain time, they get fined. They have to be done. I'm just going to use an example I'm just going to use some as an example. Let's say that at this particular arena where you signed up, you have to be done by 1 in the morning, by 1 a.m. They really don't care if everybody made it on stage. They really don't care if there was a sound check issue. And if you go over that time, you got to pay a fine. I know here in DC at the Capital One Arena is in downtown DC. And I told y'all this before. The shit that pissed me off was when they first built that arena, that was technically Chinatown. It was mainly restaurants and businesses. Well, with this, gentrification of the city, now they've added all of these, apartments and rooftop pools and all these different things, and it's a lot of residential. So when the residential people moved in, now mind you, you knew you was buying an apartment, a condo, moving in, whatever, across the street from an arena or down the street from an arena, but they were able to go to the city council and they were able to get a noise ordinance passed. And as a result, whereas before, if concerts ran over, it was no big deal. You might have to pay the people overtime that are in the arena, but it wasn't a big deal. Now it is a big deal because if you run over a certain time, you get fined because now it is a noise violation because you are now in a residential area. Now, personally, I think that was effed up that they were able to put that law in place, but that's another conversation for another day. It is what it is. So, if they have to cut off by a certain time, I understand that Anita Baker's people were like, well, it's her tour. We don't have time for both of y'all to go on. I'm sorry, you can't go on tonight. Right? So that's that. That's it. That's that. I didn't have a problem with that. And I wasn't even mad with Anita Baker once they explained the issue. I wasn't mad at Babyface either. I didn't see anything wrong with Babyface letting his people know, listen, this is why I didn't perform. I didn't perform because I was told that Anita Baker needed the time for her set. It's her tour. Boom. I see y'all next time. My bad. I don't know. Somebody earlier in the chat said something about um Anita Baker running over time or something. Somebody drop down in the chat and tell me that, please. This is true because it thunderstormed one time at the Beyonce show and she paid the $10,000 fine to finish her show. Right. I remember one time I was seeing Jill Scott. I remember I was seeing at Capital One Arena in DC. This was a couple of years ago. And Jill Scott was performing, and it was her tour, it was her show. So she went on last, and she ran out of time. But she hadn't done, y'all know, we all want to hear Anita Baker do He Loves Me. But we want We want the whole, I said Anita Baker, Jill Scott. We want the whole Jill Scott version, live version of, of that. And she didn't get to it. And I remember her looking, she looked off stage and she said, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. She said, I'll pay the fine, but we're gonna do it. I remember her saying that. And I was like, yes, we're gonna pay the fine. And then of course she did the song. So moving on. With that being said, somebody earlier in the chat, somebody dropped down and tell me again, people. Somebody earlier in the chat said something about, I guess something happened recently where Babyface had to cut his set short or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, Beyonce's been cutting Drunken Love and up and all up in your mind all month, so her concerts don't go over. These artists don't play about that. Yeah, because it's a fine, and it's not cheap. I mean, I know these people got money, but if you pay a fine at every stop, you eating into your money. But anyway, so I I don't know what happened recently, but what I do know is that Anita Baker started tweeting like the day before yesterday, and she was basically saying that Babyface's fans were coming for her, and she wanted Babyface to basically call his fans off and let his fans know, listen, I'm not doing anything wrong. It is my tour. You are not a co-headliner. You are an opening act. And there is a difference. We had that whole conversation with Monique and D.L. Hughley a few months back when that whole disaster happened. So we know there's a difference between a co-headliner and an opening act. And she said, look at the contract. Let your people know that you are not a co-headliner. You are an opening act. Right? She said that she's been bullied, she's been threatened. All these things have been happening to her, and they're coming from Babyface's fans. So that's her issue is she wanted Babyface to tell his fans, listen, leave Anita Baker alone. She's not doing anything wrong. Now, she did get petty. And she threw out there that Babyface don't like Beyonce. She was just being petty. Now, you ain't had to add that, Anita Baker. We didn't need to know how Babyface feel or don't feel about Beyonce. Now you was just being petty. You was just being a petty Betty. You was being petty. Okay? First of all, there is absolutely right. Escaping SWV, child. We got a whole lesson on co-headlining too. First of all, let me explain something to y'all. Contrary to popular belief, people cannot call their fans off. We see it happen all the time with the Beehive. We see it happen all the time with the Navy. We see it happen all the time with the Barbs. We see it happen all the time with the Barty Gang. We see it all the time. If you watch RuPaul, them RuPaul fans are nasty. RuPaul fans be getting people's Twitter shut down, and they get racist. They make threats. They do all kinds of stuff. People cannot stop these stands. I'm not gonna say they're fans. These are the stands. These are the stands. So Babyface has stands that are out here windmilling for him. He didn't ask nobody to windmill for him. I have not seen Babyface say nothing bad, nasty, or negative about Anita Baker. I just haven't. I haven't. So even if the mellometers, oh child, don't even get me started with these damn mellometers, okay? But even if he had made a statement, it would not have stopped. Now I understand where Anita Baker's coming from to say, can you please call off your people? Because they are really just they coming for me. They coming for me. So earlier today, Anita Baker makes this announcement. Anita Baker says, after silently enduring cyberbullying, verbal abuse, and threats of violence from the fan base of our special guest support act, in the interest of personal safety, I will continue the songstress tour alone. Appropriate refunds will be made. Blessings. Now, first of all, I want to know what you mean by appropriate refunds, because what does appropriate mean? Does that mean that anybody that wants their money back can get their money back? Like, what do you mean by appropriate refunds? But that ain't my business. That's between you and the people that bought a ticket. Okay. So Babyface did right silently. I don't feel like she's been silent, but so Babyface then releases a statement and it says the following. I am saddened by the news that Anita Baker has decided to remove me from the Songstress tour. It's unfortunate and disheartening to see how things have played out via social media. While I was looking forward to the rest of the dates, I have nothing but love and respect for Anita, and I wish her the best for the remainder of her tour. Babyface. Y'all, I don't mean no harm, but drop down in the chat and show me where Babyface has done anything to be disrespectful to Anita Baker. Please, somebody drop down in the chat and tell me what Babyface did. I can see what the fans might have done, but tell me what Babyface did. So here's two things I'm gonna say about that, and then if y'all want to hear about Whitehead, I'll tell y'all what happened. What's happening with Whitehead? That way, the people who don't want to hear about Whitehead can leave, child. But let me tell you the two things. Two things about that is this. The first thing is this. For somebody like an Anita Baker, you should have never picked Babyface to be your special guest. And here's why. Babyface has a fan base just as big as yours. Maybe bigger. Only because Babyface has done so much more, right? You should have picked somebody that is up and coming, that a lot of people don't know. So if they get bumped because you're running late or because sound check was late or because there was a problem with the equipment, nobody gonna be mad. Nobody's going to be mad. I mean, that's just that. You need to pick somebody that is up and coming that nobody really knows like that. Maybe somebody that's underground that may have they have enough of a fan base that people want to see them, but not a bigger fan base than yours. Because what happens is there are people who will say, "Okay, I'll buy a ticket to see. I really want to see Babyface because I fucks with Babyface, and I love me some Anita Baker. It's a 2-for-1 for me. It's a 2-for-1." So when Babyface, who has a fan base just as big, I don't care what his name, I don't care what it is on the contract, I don't care if he's an opening act, it doesn't matter. The problem was you picked an opening act that was just as big, if not bigger, than you. The messed up thing is, so when he gets bumped, yes, people are pissed off. Yes, his fan base is angry because there are people who've been trying, they wanted to hear Whip Appeal. You understand what I'm saying? Now, honestly, I don't know why Babyface agreed to do it. I mean, money, obviously, good money, whatever. But Babyface, at this point, I would be honest with y'all. I would pay for a Babyface and Friends tour. Y'all know his last album, he had all them different guest artists on his last album. He had Deborah Cox. He had, obviously, of course, Tony Braxton. He had her, SZA. Like, he had all these women, all these female artists. Baby, I would pay to see a Babyface and Friends tour. And it would be Babyface doing his hits and bringing out people he wrote songs for and letting them sing the songs. You can bring out Boys to Men. You could bring out Tony Braxton. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, y'all. Y'all know the list goes on and on and on. And hell, you can even interchange the people. If Tony Braxton can't do it one night, call up somebody else you wrote a song for. I would pay for that. I'm just being real with y'all. And so that's the problem. The problem is you pick somebody that's like Coco Jones. Oh my gosh. Coco Jones will be perfect. She has a fan base between her music and between Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She has a fan base. She has people that are interested in seeing her. But if for whatever reason she got bumped, Anita Baker fans ain't really going to be mad. Because most Anita Baker fans probably don't even really know who she is. I'm just going to call a thing a thing. Let's just call a thing a thing. Had Anita Baker picked somebody that was a smaller artist, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, y'all. But you picked Babyface, who has a fan base, like I said, just as big as yours, if not bigger. And you don't understand why his fans are upset that he didn't perform. Now, again, I don't know if something else happened. I don't know if something else happened, but now here's why I find the whole thing ironic. And I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna be done for. Well, we'll do. Here's what I find ironic about the whole damn situation. You were once Babyface when you went on tour with Luther Vandross way back in the 80s. Maybe it was late 80s. I think it was 80s. At the time, let me tell y'all, I think I told y'all this story a few weeks ago, but I'll tell it again. At the time, Anita Baker technically was the bigger star. Her album was like she had just won all the Grammys. Her album was triple platinum, whatever. Her song was the number one song on the R&B charts. She was the marquee at that time. That was before R&B died. So R&B singers were the ish, right? She technically was the bigger star in that moment. Now, Luther Vandross is Luther Vandross, and I'm not taking nothing away. Y'all know I love my Luther. But in that moment, at that moment, the more marketable star was Anita Baker. However, it was Luther's tour. So Luther Vandross put this tour together and had Anita Baker as his opening act. That's what the contract says. Since you want to tell people to check contracts, that's what the contract said. You were the opening act. Now, she didn't feel like she should have been. She felt like she should have been headlining because, again, she was the bigger star at the time. So she felt like she should have been headlining, but she wasn't. And Luther Vandross reminded her every opportunity he got, you are not the headliner. I am the headliner. Because she wanted to, she thought that they should switch off, kind of what we were talking about with SWV and Escape. They should switch off with who was going to sing first, who was going to go on first, and who was going to go on second. And y'all know Luther was a diva too. Luther said, the hell with that. It's my tour. You go first, I go second. You go first, I go second. So Anita Baker being pissed off. Y'all know what Anita Baker did? Anita Baker went on tour. I mean, she went out. She went out that night to perform. And guess what she did? She sang. I think she sang 2 or 3 Luther Vandross songs. Baby, oh, Luther was pissed. Excuse me, ma'am. You went on stage to open for me and sang my songs? Have you lost your ever loving mind? So I feel like you turned around and did the same thing to this man that was done to you, and you knew how it felt when it was done to you. And you turned around and did the same thing to him. Now, again, I have no problem with Anita Baker putting her foot down and saying, excuse me, he is not a co-headliner. This is my tour. He is the opening act. And sometimes shit happens and the opening act has to get booted, and it is what it is. I don't have no problems with that. I have no problems with that. None. And I don't think it's right for these fans. The fans are coming at her and threatening her and stuff. They're wrong. Period. Full stop. They are wrong. But I don't see where publicly Babyface has done anything to you. Publicly. Now, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But publicly, I don't see what he's done to you. And you did some bullshiggity to Luther Vandross. The Dale singing a live version of Sweet November with Babyface on lead vocals, everything. Sweet November, yes. The Dells used to be, yeah. At two occasions, I don't care what nobody say, that's still gonna be, that's an all time. That ain't never going nowhere. I only think of you on two occasions. That's day and night, bitch. What? You talk about some songwriting. What? What y'all need? I'm live. What do y'all need? Okay, hold on, y'all. You fine. Child, we got churn in the house. Okay, we got churn in the house. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. And again, I like Babyface. I like Anita Baker. And honestly, I didn't have no problem. I didn't, Anita Baker wasn't wrong for reminding people that she is the opening. I mean, that she is the headliner. But again, I think her anger is misplaced, and I think she over. I think she over. What's the word I'm looking for? I think she gives Babyface too much credit to be able to control his fans. Hell, if Beyonce can't control the Beehive, I don't know what you think Babyface gonna do. Hell, do his fans even have a name? The Facers. I mean, what? And right, and somebody said, and are his fans really gangsters like that? Like, child. Child, I remember my mama loved her some whoop pill, child. My mama used to love her some Babyface, child. Child Diana. Now you want to talk about Queen of Divas, baby. All right, let me give y'all this quick little update on Whitehead, and then we're gonna get out of here. We'll be back at 9:30 for those who want to hear the Real Housewives of New Jersey live reunion review. Yeah, I don't know what to call them, Jessica. We're gonna call them the Facers. I don't know what to call them, child. So y'all know that Whitehead owned an apartment building up in Connecticut, right? We done talked about this. He had an apartment building. He got all these citations. He had to fix the building up. He allegedly was a slumlord. I did a whole video on it. It was an article in the paper about how bad the conditions were in the building, and he was raising the rent and evicting people, even though some of the apartments didn't even have running water, and they had rodents and all kinds of stuff. Remember, we talked about him being a slumlord. I really need to put together a Whitehead playlist. So for the people who are coming in late, if y'all want to go back, but we did that a while back. It was an article written and all that. Well, he was cited by the city. It's in Connecticut. I forget the name of the city, but he was cited by the city, and he had to put in these repairs, and he did. I mean, he bullshitted, and he did the cheap way. He built a fire escape with wood. I ain't never seen a fire escape with wood. Where can you have a fire escape with wood? Doesn't that defeat the purpose? How you escaping a fire and the fire escape is made out of wood? I didn't know that was legal. I didn't know they could do that. I mean, somebody explain that to me. How you having a fire escape made out of wood? But neither here nor there, child. He had did it, and he posted them pictures, and he just knew he did that thing. You could not tell him that he was not landlord of the year. Okay, you could tell him he was not landlord of the year. Well, then we found out that he had gotten behind on his mortgage payments, and they started foreclosure proceedings against him for these apartment buildings. Now I'm gonna spare y'all the back and forth and the in and out of all the legal, because it went back and forth, legal. Went to court. He got caught lying on the stand. Child, it was a whole thing. Again, we acted it out on Pam's channel. We did the whole Sunday night theater. Me, her, and Thais. Okay, but neither here nor there. Right, bossy Don Diva. Exactly. You better hope you get out before the fire get to the damn steps. Anyway. Old buildings have wood fire escapes indoors, though, child. So, make a long story short, because again, it was a legal back and forth. It was a whole situation. At the end of the decision was made that the apartment buildings will go into receivership pending the outcome of the foreclosure situation. So he is not officially lost the apartment buildings yet. They are just in receivership, which means that basically there's like for lack of a better word, like a trustee that's overseeing the ins and outs. Somebody else is running and taking care of the apartment building pending what happens with this foreclosure, because maybe he can still save it and get it out of foreclosure. So it's not a done deal yet. He has not officially lost the apartment buildings. But in the meantime, any rent collected would go into like an escrow account. He's not supposed to have. He was ordered to turn over the keys. He was ordered to turn over all financial records. He was, the tenants and all the everything. He was ordered to turn over everything because somebody else was going to be running the business of the apartment buildings until he resolved the foreclosure one way or the other. Either he got it out of foreclosure and he saved it, or he lost it, and it is what it is, right? Well, he's refusing to do any of that. I know y'all are shocked. I know y'all are surprised that the bishop refused to turn anything over. But I'm here to tell you the bishop refused to turn anything over. He wouldn't turn over the keys. He wouldn't turn over the books and the records. The company that's the receivership, the company, they sent a letter to the tenants saying, we are coming in, we need to come in and we need to do an inspection, and we will inspect your apartment building, whether you are, like the letter, I'm sure you guys have lived in apartments before. If they're coming in and they're spraying for pests, if they're coming in and checking for the fire alarms or whatever, you get a letter saying, listen, maintenance will be on site between June the 13th and June the 15th. We'll be coming into the apartment buildings to check for making sure that everybody's fire alarm is in working condition. I don't know. We're coming in to spray for rodents, right? I don't care where you live. You can live in the best side of town. They come in they come in periodically and they spray. They do these things, right? I've lived in an apartment building. You get the little letter, and they tell you if you're not home, we're still coming in. Whether you are home or not, we are going to come in and we're going to check. So we're letting you know that we will be here between this date and this date, between these times and these times. That is standard operating procedure. Anybody who's ever lived in an apartment, go on and put it in the chat and tell me if I'm lying. Okay? With that being said, of course, some of the people, I guess, reached out to him, whether they were cool with him or they just didn't realize he wasn't in charge anymore. They also said in the letter that at this time, we will be changing the locks, and we will make sure that you get a new key. Why were they changing the locks to all of the apartment buildings? Because the bishop was refusing to turn over the keys. He didn't listen. These people didn't have a key to the front door. They didn't have a key to the office. They didn't have a key to the laundry room. They didn't have a key to all of the apartment buildings. So maintenance couldn't get in if something needed to be done. So they said, fine, you won't, because he was supposed to turn over the keys March the 1st. So it's June. So, or maybe it was May 1st. Whatever it was, he was supposed to turn over them keys. Maybe it was May 1st. I might be getting my M's mixed up. But either way. So he did not turn nothing over. Refused to turn anything over. So they said, fine, you won't turn the keys over? There's more than one way to skin this cat. You won't turn the keys over? Then we're going to get in where we fit in on the other side. We got this. We got it. So he shows up and he refuses to let them enter the building. And they said, but excuse me, we have a court order, sir. We have been court ordered to do this. We have paperwork, something he didn't have when he went up in Glory of God. We got paperwork, sir, from the company that is in charge, the receivership company. They sent us. We have the paperwork. We have every right to come into the building. Y'all know what that man told them people. They said, well, sir, we're going to go get the police because this is ridiculous. You won't let us in. We have a court order. We're going to get the police. Y'all know what that man said. That man told them, go on and get the police there, and you better send the SWAT team. You're going to need the SWAT team to get up in here. Y'all, that man told them to send the SWAT team. Because that's the only way he going to let them in. So they have filed paperwork to find him in contempt of court. I'm not sure. Pam said when the hearing was. I honestly don't know. I don't have it with me to know when the hearing was. Pam actually read the actual documents. You can hear word for word what they put in the documents. But this is what I'm gonna say, y'all. At this point, I don't know what the state of New York is doing. This man is out on $5 million bond, and there was very specific criteria. Part of it was that he ain't out here causing no more problems. I don't know what else he's been doing since he's been out on bond other than causing problems. But the state of Connecticut or the city, they have filed contempt charges on him, and they want the court to find him in contempt. Child, at this point, I'm just waiting for them to lock his ass up. It's just ridiculous. It is so ridiculous at this point. It is so ridiculous at this point. Anyway, let me get out of here so I can watch Real Housewives of New Jersey. I'll be back at 9:30. For those of you that watch the Real Housewives of New Jersey, meet me back here after we watch this reunion because it's already 8:20. So I'll be back at. I might be a few minutes late because I gotta make sure I get it all in. But child, we're gonna get into it. Let me go finish that last year and a half of school and pass the New York bar so I can get some of Whitehead's legal fund. You better go on, girl. You better do it. You better do it. Hey, Kenneth, what's up, boo? Teach you how to eat blue crabs is giving chop. Wait a minute. I'm gonna need you to teach me how to eat a blue crab. I can teach you. It's not y'all. I'll teach you, babe. I actually did a video. I did a video a while ago. I went live and I actually did a video while I was eating crabs and I showed you how to open it up and what to do and stuff. Some people love like I love me. I love to sit down and pick at crabs. Some people don't like picking at the crabs. They just like, it's too much. That's too much work for a little bit of meat. Well, I don't know what to tell you. All right, y'all, let me get it. I will talk to y'all later. Thank y'all for being here again. On your way out, if you have not hit that like button, please do. And if you have not subscribed, please go on and subscribe. What you waiting for? It's free 99. I see y'all in about an hour. All right? Peace. Maybe an hour and 15 minutes.